Hello and welcome to yet another Transformers video. Today I would like to tackle a topic which I have seen an unbelievable amount of people give their opinions on, and that is between Scourge and Lockdown, which one was the better villain, and also who would win in a fight. Now, let's just talk about them as a villain specifically. So, before the final battle, if we were to look at each character individually, let's start off with Scourge. In the opening of the movie, Scourge, they immediately set the stage for what kind of character he's going to be. Primal's narration, obviously, and then we get that creepy ass shot of him in the dark with his chest and his eyes glowing. And I'm glad they went for a kind of horror-esque introduction for Scourge. And this is the only thing about him as a character that I just didn't like, and that is that he was evil just for the sake of being evil. I am tired of this trope with movie villains now, that they are just evil just because. There's no motive or anything. They had the opportunity, and I know that they were going to do this, but they ended up cutting it. They were going to make Scourge a much more sympathetic villain, which would have made like the scene where his mask gets taken off a lot more impactful, but they didn't do that, unfortunately, which did just leave Scourge to be a generic villain, but a really cool one. I love his design, but he is basically invincible. I mean, Airazor said it, that the Dark Energon makes him unbelievably strong, and you see that throughout the movie. I mean, the museum fight, whether it was Optimus or Bumblebee or whoever tried to strike Scourge, he beat them. There was no competition. He absolutely trashed Optimus. And realistically, if Bumblebee didn't sacrifice himself, essentially, Optimus would have been killed. There was no competition. And he is very strong. I'll give him that. He is very strong. He's very confident. And I mean, he should be, because realistically, without plot armor, no one can kill him. It's the final battle that lets Scourge down as a villain. Similar to how in Halloween Kills, Michael Myers was this unstoppable force, the personification of evil. He was unkillable. And then in Halloween Ends, he's just an old man who can barely stand up and gets killed very easily. Scourge basically goes through that in the final battle. Mirage, but then once that fight is over, he just becomes so weak. He doesn't really deliver that many dangerous blows. He just kind of shoots and then Optimus's hits. He doesn't really do memorable in the final battle, other than die. But for someone who was said to be, and I quote, all but invincible, he gets killed very easily. I mean, Optimus literally just takes both arms off in less than a second and then decapitates him. It really was just rushed they were just like, oh, okay, runtime is almost up. We need to kill this guy. And that is the only place where Scourge is worse than Lockdown. And I feel like we've kind of wrapped up on Scourge in terms of his durability. And now it's time to look at Lockdown. Similar to Scourge, Lockdown has an absolutely badass introduction. He emerges from the water, turns his face into a gun, and kills Ratchet, someone who we have, even though he didn't really have much in the grand scheme of things, he wasn't the first three movies. I mean, he survived a lot. Ironhide, as bad as it was, didn't survive the third movie. Lockdown just comes along and just rips out Ratchet's spark, turns it into a badass car, and then just leaves. Obviously, Age of Extinction was the first Transformers I saw, and Lockdown, I think, was a great introduction as a Transformers villain. He is basically what Scourge tried to be. Because in Rise of the Beast, Scourge definitely, obviously he keeps track of all the people he's killed. He has all the insignias on him. Lockdown is a professional. He is a bounty mercenary. And that is what makes Lockdown so badass. He is confident in himself, and he should be, because oh my god, this guy, he is amazing at combat. He's not exactly a character, unlike Scourge. Scourge, compared to Optimus, was basically eye to eye to him. In fact, I think he is a bit bigger. Lockdown, however, is quite small compared to Prime. You know, the scaling with the Studio Series figures, people complain that the deluxe class Lockdown is too small. However, while I agree that he is slightly too small, it really isn't by much. Lockdown, as even though he's not as big as Optimus, or anywhere close really, he absolutely demolished him in Age of Extinction. The Age of Extinction, like the night design for Optimus, well, that whole mode, I believe is the strongest that Prime's ever been in live action, and Optimus took him down. No, and that is the main reason why Lockdown, I think, a better showcase of like his combat abilities when compared, because in the final battle, right, sorry, not Scourge, Lockdown, despite putting Optimus down, literally shoving his sword through his chest, getting attacked by Bumblebee, getting attacked by Cade. Oh my god, Lockdown really stood his ground. He's agile, he's quick, and I mean his weapons. Oh my god, Scourge doesn't really have that many weapons. Like, he has his blade, his cannon, claw. That's basically it. Lockdown has the bloody sword. He has a gun. He has a face gun. He has the hook. It's just ridiculous. And I mean, he has a ship as well. Can we just use that? He has dogs, well, the steel jaws, and he has a ship. Lockdown is too strong. He's not. He's too clever. Lockdown knows what he's doing, and if he is put after Scourge, then I really don't see Scourge coming out of that alive, because just to simplify this whole thing as to who would win in a fight, Optimus Prime in Rise of the Beast was very weak. Obviously, he was less experienced, and his combat wasn't really that great. So Scourge lost to him, right? As I said, I believe that the version of Optimus is the strongest he's ever been. Lockdown took him out with no issue in the world. If he wasn't distracted by Cade, then Optimus would have been killed immediately. I mean, he got pinned to the freaking wall so easily. And obviously, by that logic, if Scourge lost to Optimus and Lockdown beat a strong Optimus, then who's gonna win? It's obviously gonna be Lockdown. I feel that there's no competition, and despite being imbued with the Dark Energon, you know, with Unicron's assistance, I feel like Scourge just does not stand a chance against Lockdown. No comparison. Lockdown is too quick and he's too agile for Scourge, because while Scourge is very quick, I highly doubt he'll be able to land a solid blow on Lockdown. But please give me your opinion, comment down below. Who do you think will win in a fight between Lockdown and Scourge? And also, just as a villain, who do you think was better? Because I know that there are a lot of different opinions and reasoning as to why a certain one. And honestly, I'm all up for hearing your reasoning, because they are both amazing villains, and I really can't argue whoever you pick. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe, and goodbye.